Hey everyone, it's May here with the Craft Cottage Market, and I wanted to share with you guys what you can create with some of the pockets and ephemeras that are available in the Mother Dearest kit. Now, this is something that you can use for your 30-day folio challenge, which is coming to an end here in a couple days, but I want to share with you guys what you can make with these. This one here, I've gone ahead and printed on the back. And this one here creates like a little notepad. I did print in the back, and this one I did not print because these little pieces are going to be cut and glued and attached to that. You can make a little notebook and attach little tabs to it. And then in our group, you got these two pieces free, and I've gone ahead and printed on the back as well for these. Now, I want to emphasize the importance of border and borderless. These here I printed borderless, I'm sorry, border with border. And what happens when you do borderless, it runs off the page. So you want to make sure that you're printing them with a border um, so that they're not running off the page. Now, if you want a full page, like this is with a border. Now, if you want a full page, then you would go ahead and do borderless, okay? So that way you get the whole full page. But if you want to get the full effect of your pockets so they're not running out, make sure you do with a border, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut these, and then I'll be back, okay?
Okay, so welcome back. I've trimmed everything out and I want to share with you guys how I actually went in here and trimmed. I'm using this little X-Acto knife that I purchased at Hobby Lobby, and I just go right around the white line, the border, and just kind of trim as close as I can. I started to cut it and I was like, well, let me show them. You can put your scissors in there. I just found that it might be just a little bit more complicated if you, but you can just make a little small slit, put your scissors, your small, like your little small fussy cutting scissors. I thought I had mine here, but you could add those in there as well. So if you have your scan and cut, you can also scan these up um, and trim. I started to put borders, like on this one it has a little black borders. I just kind of, me personally, um, I'm just too lazy to pull out. And I know that's pretty sad to say, but I am. Maybe on a specific day I can just trim all, plug in my machine and cut. And that's fine and dandy, but I realize not everyone has a machine. So that's it right there. We trim it out, and there we go. Now, you've cut this one out, and you've got this one, and you have these little pieces. This is all one little collection. So this is what I would do. You can go ahead and, if you want, I'm not on this particular folio, I want to keep it clean and simple, so I did not edge any of my work. You can if you want. um, as you can see, I printed the back. Didn't really need it, but I did. So we're just going to go right around the border. Do not put any glue down here, just a little bit of glue. Use your fine tip and go right around that edge like so, because we don't want to glue down our pockets. That's like a little slit there for you to insert tags or notes or whatever, but that's basically what that is for. Okay, I'm not the most perfect, I don't have a perfect and we're gonna mount it or layer it on top. And that's like so. When you have a perfect, go ahead and drop it. Use your bone folder and burnish that in. one's a very easy one. And then for the pocket, we're just going to go down here, a little U shape. Now for this little piece here, you can use some of the papers from the collection and cut out some tags. I have provided some tags for you guys that you can use to insert in, so you can use those as well. Then we have these little pieces. You can take a stamp and stamp right on it. I'm just going to go ahead and label this down. You can also put some foam tape, which I'm probably going to do that. But first, I think I'm going to find a stamp and stamp it right along here so that that will lay right on top of that. But for now, I'm not going to place it down because I will want to take a stamp, and I don't have any stamp handy with me, but I will show you later. You'll see it towards the end. Okay, so then you can find some tags, and let me pull out my little collection here. Now these are the new tags that we came out. That's available in the group. And you can pop those in there like so. We have more that's been available with this kit that you can also use, like this one here, or maybe that one, whatever, you know, whatever you want, you can insert there. Let's see if these, I don't think these are too big. I can tell you right now, these were made available, but see, it's too big to insert there. This one could probably fit in there. Let's see, we have one that matches that paper, so this one would be perfect, and it's in the collection for your ephemeras. I could go right in there versus that one because it matches it. And this was for something else in the collection, but it has a little bit of the greens, and we could use that. Maybe it won't fit in there, but it might fit in this one. Yep, it does. I can probably trim it down just a tad bit. I don't know. Let's remove this one. This one's in the way. So that one's too big, but you can probably trim it and put it in. On this other one, we could probably pop these in because they're about the same color. And then we do have more of these, just to kind of give it more tags in there. It's like a little exploding tag. Or loaded tag, actually. That's what they call them. Okay. And then here, like I said, I will later on, or, you know, there's so much that you can do with these. You don't have to necessarily, you know, if we wanted to add a little embellishment there, we can add a little message. We already have some messages or little labels and stuff like that. We can add this one here, and instead of that one, and that would be just as cute. And we can add out even a little pop-up or dimensional. Let's see. You can add more little pieces here, like more decorative, if you want, but that's basically like a little loaded pocket. Now for the next one, we have this one here, and it comes with these little pieces that you see here. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to take my scoreboard. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way. And I have a little line here that I use to kind of center things when I'm using something like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and score it right there. And yes, you don't have to pop out your scoreboard. I just want to be precise. I think I'm a little anal about things sometimes. And again, you can distress it. If you want to use distress inks, go for it. I just been kind of, on this collection, my project, I haven't, because I wanted something plain and cut. So it's going to look something like that is what's going to happen there when you fold it. And let me get the little flap as well. Just kind of line it up on my little line here. Okay. Alrighty. Put that down now. Okay. So I got my little pockets. Let's go ahead and burnish those in. Okay. And let's do the same thing for the little flap. Bend it back. Okay. All right, so this just becomes a cute little pocket that can house these little cards that you have here available in your kit. One of these, what we can do is take the little flap. We can go either on this one or possibly on this one. Let's see where it looks best. I think I'm going to go with this one because it kind of gives it a nice little contrast. So I like it there. So what I'm going to do is flip it over this way and just grab my glue. And glue it down. So then it has a little cute flap. And then you can put that like so in here, and you can add something there, just like that. We can lift it up, and you can put a little decorative piece here. I'm trying to find all my little pieces, my little decorative pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and grab these. I didn't want to put anything very, very bulky. And then we also have these here. So we can even decorate the, let's go ahead and put a little bit of glue here. And then we can probably tuck the tag right there. Use a little tuck spot there. And then we can fold that, fold that, fold that, fold that, fold that. And literally what happens here, you can do that. Like that. Okay, so again, just kind of tuck them in like that. But I'm going to go ahead and put one of these. And you can also put a button if you don't want anything like this. I think I'll go with this little green one. It goes with the collection. Right there. Cute. And then, again, let's fold that down. That. that and tuck it under, just like so. Okay, so I went ahead and added this piece here, but as you notice, I didn't glue it all the way in. It's just, I glued it just like a 1/4 inch. Let me show you. Just this little corner here, okay? And left 3/4 of it open so that when I seal it, it will seal shut, okay? That way when we tuck this little flap in, it's gonna slide right underneath of that little mechanism, okay? Just kind of hold it in place, all right? So I've gone ahead and now, oops, scored these pieces, and I'm gonna go ahead and fold those back. Okay, and so for this one, we're gonna score along the lines, and we're going to fold back and burnish as best as you can. You want to make sure you burnish these in really, really well, simply because it's going to be folded 3 times, and so you want to make sure that you're getting a good crease and a good fold so that it kind of lays flat somewhat. So then you're going to fold back those little flaps in, like so, and then that's going to fold up like that. So your little flap hinges folds in like that. Okay, so we're going to glue that down like that. There, perfect. And kind of put that in. While that's drying up a bit, I'm going to go grab a little strip of scrap I have here. I know that if I was to, say for instance, fold it like that. Let's fold a little Z fold. And again, fold it and burnish really well so that it kind of stays flat. So say for instance, this is the front where the pockets are. If you take it, I'm going towards my right, fold it in like that, okay? I want to put a little hinge so that when we glue it, it kind of pulls up, but we don't want to prevent this one from not moving. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of scrap that I have here. Let's fold that in half and create a little somewhat of a hinge. Again, this is a piece of scrap, so I just measured it to measure from here to here. You need the exact measurements. It's about 3 3¼ about so. Okay, so let's go ahead and burnish again. I just want to make sure it's flat. Now if I was to put this in my album, or my folder, not my album, I'm used to saying album. Hey, and look, I've already gone ahead and put that loaded one down. Okay, so say I wanted to put it on this page like so, where it's gonna pull out like that. What I'm going to do is grab this little hinge that we've created, and let's attach it like so. Where's my glue? Then we can glue that down, and then that becomes a little pulling mechanism, but I want to add some ribbon as a closure. So let's go ahead and grab some of my seam binding that I have here. That'll work. Okay. That way we have something to close it with. So we're just putting it right on there, center it in, like so. And we're glue on top of the ribbon. And let's put it right, well, we want that, yeah, I guess we could put it right there. That way I can put something else on that other side. That's straight. Open it up. And then I can add like a little, I don't know, something to put there, like, let's say like a card, or we got lots of journaling cards in this kit. Lots and lots of journaling cards, lots of possibilities. And not even that right there, you know, and that way that'll close like that. And that can even be a little pocket as well. We can line it up, flush it up to the top. And that could be a little pocket here. So let's go ahead and do that. Any possible way that you can add pockets, that's like the gold mine, you know, because you want to have pockets. You want to be able to have a place to tuck pictures or notes or whatever it is. You know, you might have gone to the movies and you may have gotten a receipt. So that would work just like that. And then we can tie it up like so, and it'll seal it shut. Okay, so it's not popping up. Okay, so then what we can do is just add our little tags. Right there, like so. You can add some of the, you know, just to give it a little bit of a decorative touch. Add some words or little pictures. All right, so then we'll tie it up. And there's that one. Okay. So there's that. And you just open it up, and then it can pull out like that, and then you'll have a little pocket here. You can put a note or whatever, you know, for your mom or whoever you're gifting this to. Okay. Okay, like that. Okay, so there's that one. And of course, we're gonna have to figure out a nice chunky ribbon or bow or belly band to close it up because it's becoming very chunky. All right, for the last one. Okay, and so for the last one, it's this one here. It comes two in the sheet with some tabs and some little pockets, and there's this little diagram that shows you how to assemble it. I've cut everything out, as you can see, and I've scored and burnished. Now, I've taken some of my coffee dye from my stash, and this one measures 8.5 by 4 3/4. I cut two of them, and what I ended up doing is I stacked them up like so. Okay, I put it in my little Folio notebook, whatever you want to call it. I think I had it on the other one, this one. Yep. And then I bent back the pages like that. I bent them back so that way I can kind of get a little side pocket, and I did it on all of them. So they all have little fold backs, okay? So what you can do is on the center, you can like stitch it if you want, or you can grab your stapler and staple right down in the center of that. And then you'll have yourself a little folio. I'm going to go ahead and glue these little flaps down, though. Down here and over here. That'll become a little pocket. So now I have two pockets on both sides. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on this one. And then there we go. We have two little pockets. And I rounded my corners, and that'll be tucked in just like so. And what the best thing to do is put it in, insert it in, and then round all your corners so that way it kind of matches up. That's the best way that you can do it. Now, again, you can take your stapler and you can staple. Let me see if my Tim Holtz stapler will go through. I highly doubt it because I don't want to stitch. You can also pull out your sewing machine, but again, I don't want to do that. So yeah, my Tim Holtz will not go in. Let's see. Nope, it's not going to go in, darn it. I wish he made it a little bit longer. Ooh, Timmy. Okay, so chances are I will probably have to stitch that, but that's okay. We will do that. I'll just show you how to put the pockets in, okay? And then I will do the stitching off camera because I don't want to bring my sewing machine in. So, for these, you're going to grab and stack them up just like that. Just like that on there, okay? And then you'll have some little tabs. Now the best way, I'll show you how to do the best way to cut your tabs. Let's see. change it up here. Go like that. And then you have all these little cards that can be tucked inside. So let's go ahead and put our pockets in. Let's get as close as you can to the edge. And the diagram has more little pockets. You can do more pockets if you want, like print them out and cut them out. That's entirely up to you. But so see how this one has 2 here. You can do it 2 here and 2 here. You can do that and then close your little folio like that. Or just 2 there. Or you can do, see how this one has 1, 2, 3. You can stack them up like this. Let me show you this way. You can do it like that. And like, let's do so you can see better. Like that, and like that. Okay, and then you stack them. You're just going to glue here a little bit and glue it to that one, glue a little bit here and glue it to that one, and then just kind of do not, if you're going to stack them, you can't glue the bottom, just the bottom on the one piece at the bottom. Okay, I guess what I can do is I have another one. I can print that out, or not print it out, cut it out and show you so that I can better explain that. Okay, so in the meantime, let's go ahead and put this one down. And I'll just do another little cut. And on this one, I'm just going to put glue here and here, not at the bottom. That way we can put a tag that runs all the way down to the bottom, if that makes any sense. Now for the tabs, what I recommend you do is go ahead and cut it up. Align your scissors to flush it to the lines. So see how it butted up right to the edge? And then what you're going to do, so do you see that? Right to the edge. Let me do the darker one, sorry. Right to the very edge. Hold it like so. Grab your little fussy cutting scissors and just trim it out. That way it's kind of even. Okay. Okay. And then you can add these little tabs to these little cards like so. And that way that can go right there and you have something to pull it with. We'll do one for that taller card. Where did it go? Right here. Let's go ahead and get something that kind of sticks out. Oh, there we go. More of a contrast color. And then you should be able to tuck it all the way to, there we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay. You just want to get really close to the edge when you're gluing that down, okay? So you're not limited. And then you have more for the other side, for more of those little cards. let me grab the other extra that I have here. To show you what I mean. Okay. So I'm going to round it. Went ahead and kind of make sure they were all, and so there we go. So I glued down, let's glue that down because I trimmed it off a little. Okay, so I put glue just on about 1 inch on each one. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put glue on all the way down. I'm going very thin. I know why the other one pretty, because I did it borderless. Okay, so then we could put that like that onto our little folio. Okay, and then we can add our little cards and our little tabs that we want to put in. Let's go with green with pink. I think that looks pretty. And that can go right in there. A little stiff, but there we go. Kind of have to work them in there. There you go. And then we can do the same thing with this one. And then these little tabs, we can put them on the outside of our journal. Let's see, which one do I want? I want that one, yeah, hot pink. I think we'll go with this one. Oops. And then I can take this into the sewing machine and stitch it up, and then it'll be a little tiny like folio with little pockets. And we can cut the rest of these and insert it in here like that. Let's cut all these little tags. I added that. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Okay, So let's do this little stacking motion. I've gone ahead and cut out another set of these, and that's the wonderful thing about having digitals, that you can print them out if you need more. And as long as you have ink and as long as you have paper, the sky is the limit. Okay, so I use a 1-inch punch to punch out the little notch here. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of align them pretty much how we want them to be placed inside our little folio. Okay, so we're going to go almost like that. Once you have it, just go ahead, grab your glue, and you're just going to put a little bit there on that edge. Do the same thing on the opposite. I'm just doing it briefly right on the edge because I don't want my pocket to be completely sealed. Like that. Okay. And then you're going to glue around here very lightly on the outer edges. Okay. Turn it around, and with all three stacked up, you're going to go lightly right around those edges. As closest to the edge as you can get. And go ahead and put it in your little folio. And then I've already prepped these little cards in, and they're just going to slide right in there like so. That one needs to be glued down a little bit more. And that's all to it. And that's it. That's all you do to it. Little folio. And use that as your little guide. We can embellish it however we want, because there's, again, I sound like a little broken record. But there's plenty for you to use to embellish. Yeah. And then all you have left is to decorate the front and call it a little day. Right. So here's what I did so far. I added this here, and on the pages that I have not yet sewn down, I've added that and that and that. Okay, and that will be sewn down like so. Okay, that's that one. Now on this one, I've taken a little layering here, and we're going to layer this. This is just it, you know, I know I'm covering it, but you know what, sometimes we have to do something that we're going to cover something up, but it's going to look great. So I'm thinking of something like that, and then this one here, because it says be original and then remember down here. So that's what I'm thinking for that. So we're going to go ahead and place that remember down. Nice little layering. So this would have been great for the layering part of our little journey here. So we have that. And then we have our little pockets inside, and I've added those in. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We've got those. Okay, so for this pocket, we've gone ahead and cut it. And we're going to score these in. I'm just going to use my hands as best as I can. Just like that. So basically you're going to glue a little hinge there, line it up, flush it into that edge. So that's it. That's all you do for these pockets. These are very easy to do, and all you have to do is just kind of decorate them. You can glue it here, attach it to your page. Easy peasy. I used a 1.5-inch circle punch to punch that out. Made it so much easier. So that's all you do for these. And let me show you how I ended up doing the little folio. I decorated some of the little pages like so. I have not sewn them in. That requires me turning on my sewing machine. Like that. And then I ended up putting the other one in here, and I decorated it like that. Okay. And we tucked right in there. This is a little chunky one, but she is done. That one's done. And like I said, you can attach these to one of your pages or flaps and put some tags in here. You can put a little piece of Velcro there. And again, I have this one here to put in the other one. It's too full. That one's too full. But anyway, that's how you just work with these pockets. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And also, don't forget to check our coffee. If you're new, we do have the new release of Whispers in May. It's a tall, skinny junk journal kit full of many, many, many pieces. Lots of opportunities to create a beautiful, tall, skinny junk journal. And I'm absolutely in love with that collection. It's the colors, the layout, everything about it is so beautiful. So make sure you check it out on our coffee. Check us out on Facebook and join our Facebook if you have not. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. Also, what do you think about the collection? What do you think about the 30-day challenge? Are you doing it? Don't forget we have until the 10th to submit if you want to participate on the $25 giveaway that we're going to be doing for one lucky winner. So Leave a comment, tell me what you think, and I hope to see you in the next video. Till next time, guys. Bye.